Hey, this is Brent Leary, and this is cool for me because I do a lot of conversations, and I'm typically in Vegas or some other place. So I really appreciate being in Atlanta at the headquarters of NCR and being here with Chris Poelma, who is the president and GM of NCR's small business unit. Chris, thanks for having me here.
Brent, good to be here.
It's a perfect day in Atlanta. The weather is great, and we're outside right out front of the headquarters, which is, it still looks brand spanking new to me. So.
Yes, it's we've only been here 5 quarters, so it's a new campus. And it is a beautiful day. What better way to, have a good conversation right out here out front?
Absolutely. So we're going to be talking about cryptocurrencies and what Facebook is doing with Libra, and get into that a bit. But before we do, why don't you give us a little of your personal background?
Sure. So my background is a mixture of technology and business. The core of it, it's always been over 30 years of technology, software primarily, but can be network, business segments from financials and financial industry to telecommunications, healthcare. Been in the industry quite a while. I've been able to bring 5 new businesses into market over my career, and have worked for a couple of large corporations like NCR.
For those who may not know what NCR does, maybe you can fill us in a little bit on that.
Yeah, so NCR is truly, it's a global software company. We're in over 119 countries, and NCR sits at the intersection of people, consumers, and then businesses and merchants. And so whether it's ATMs or whether it's banking or banking software, or whether it's commerce in terms of financial transactions associated with a point of sale from restaurants or entertainment venues here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium as an example, our software and hardware services manage the customer checkout as an example.
So let's talk a little bit about this whole area of cryptocurrencies. It's been around for a while, but for folks who may not be clued in, maybe you give us a high-level definition of what exactly cryptocurrencies are.
Sure. So at its core, cryptocurrency's goal is to, I'll use the word democratize and socialize money, or the value of money. It's the ability in a very safe and secure way, we can get into the details of how if you'd like, but in a very safe and secure way, ensure that the value of money that people are transacting with are accessible to the masses, not just those with bank accounts, but those without bank accounts, and that the costs of transacting using that money is exceptionally low. So it isn't percentages or even pennies or dollars on a per transaction basis. The cost is exceptionally low.
So where does Bitcoin fit in with cryptocurrencies?
Oh, great question. So Bitcoin, so first on cryptocurrency, it's a multi-ledger technology. By that I mean there are public servers that many businesses around the globe actually set up to where they run an open source code-based platform, and every financial transaction that occurs, every single financial transaction that occurs in a specific cryptocurrency is encrypted, if you will, via an algorithm, and it's placed and bundled into what are blocks and creates something called a blockchain.
Sights and sounds of Atlanta, folks.
Yes, it daisy chains these blockchains together in bundles, and so in their own way they become unique, but they write those transactions and those bundles across hundreds and thousands of servers that are accessible. Anybody can view, so they're publicly facing and transparent. And in this way, if somebody wanted to try and steal money or hack money in terms of balance, they would have to, one, decrypt exceptionally long, complex algorithm strings, one, and two, they would have to hack not one, but tens of thousands of servers to change the data. So it becomes very trustworthy. Bitcoin was one of the original creators of what is a multi-ledger currency to allow people to buy and trade items of value using individual coins, monetary units, referred to as Bitcoin. So it's the monetary value, and it is also the name of the brand. They're one of the oldest, one of 2,600. In fact, I think they're valued number of outstanding coins times the value of their coin. If you were to go on to coinmarket.com, you would find that they're valued somewhere in the neighborhood of 175 billion US dollars.
So I see a lot of folks more on the speculative side of Bitcoin.
Right.
But how is it, has it entered mainstream business yet, or is it still kind of sitting there trying to cross the chasm?
Yeah, great question. So in NCR Small Business, we have a tablet point of sale solution called NCR Silver, and we are integrated via our APIs into Bitcoin. And I would tell you less than 0.5% of our businesses actually transact or use Bitcoin. So it's exceptionally small use out in the small markets today. It is, you're right, largely speculative because the value keeps growing. There's a reason for that, but that's another technical discussion we won't get into. But it's a bit speculative, as though you were trading gold, again, back to the value. But in terms of everyday use and transaction, it's not quite there yet. It's treated more as an investment than it is a currency for buying and selling everyday goods like clothes and food and coffee to daily transportation. So Bitcoin might be more of an investment, but one of the questions we were discussing earlier, the whole Facebook Libra.
Right, we're going to get that.
That
you set me up. Perfect segue, because I wanted to kind of figure out, talk about what Facebook Libra is and the potential it has for maybe moving more of this into mainstream business.
Sure, okay. So where Bitcoin is more speculative, like an investment, because it keeps growing in value, because it is so rare and very hard, very expensive to come by a Bitcoin, which, like gold or platinum or palladium, which are very rare elements, the same way with Bitcoin, it's harder and harder to get a hold of it, so it becomes greater in value. So it becomes more speculative rather than everyday transactional value. To whereas a Facebook Libra is an association. It's not owned by one single independent company. It's an org, it's an association, it's a not-for-profit. Yes, it'll be managed by Facebook's wholly owned subsidiary called Calibra. It'll manage and govern the work that's done for Libra, which Libra hasn't started transacting yet. There are some other differences about Facebook Libra. Because it's an association, because it's not for profit, there are other businesses and entities that have contributed monies and sit on a governance board like Visa, like MasterCard, like PayPal, like Stripe. There are other businesses out there, not just technology, but financial banks that are becoming a part of the Libra association that not only brings credibility to Libra, but because it's an association and not for profit, it has a higher probability that transacting and trading in Libra will be more for commerce and transactions and less of a speculative and investment product.
So Facebook made the announcement and it brought all these organizations together.
Right.
Does Facebook, being the face of this, have any specific challenges due to their security and data privacy issues?
Sure. So the hard side is, whether it was Facebook or WeChat or Alibaba or Amazon or Google, anytime you have one single entity that is appearing to dominate or sit over what is a single currency, it's going to cast a shadow of doubt and question. And I think those are all the questions that are coming up. But those questions would come up whether it's Facebook, whether it's Google, whether it's WeChat, regardless of the firm and the business and where they're located on the globe, because part of what a cryptocurrency is trying to achieve is a unified currency around the planet, not just within political confines. So in the same way that the value of, let's say, a Ripple or a Libra in this case might be trading $2 to 1 Ripple in the US, it would trade at that same exact value in Brazil and in Mexico and in Beijing. So it doesn't matter where you are around the planet. So the challenge with a Facebook Libra is it's one company that's sitting over it. The benefit, though, what better way could you imagine to bring a cryptocurrency to the masses than a very large social network like Facebook, to where they have hundreds of millions of active accounts around the globe that they could easily access this cryptocurrency and be able to transact and trade real monetary valuable items. And so in this way, the chance of it being more than a brush fire, but more of a planetary used currency, well, that's the upside. That's the power.
So if we were to look out 5 years from now, what would this all look like?
Oh, wow. So just like you do in any industry that's new, you have hundreds, thousands, in this case, we're up to 2,600 cryptocurrencies that are traded on or tracked on the market index, on coin market index, and there will be more. And so over a period of 5 years, you'll establish, or you'll see a dominance by not one, but maybe 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll see consolidation in the industry, and you'll see over a period of time, just like we had the challenge back in the day in technology of VHF and UHF, right? One wins out, just like alternating current and distributed current, AC and DC, just like automotive manufacturing in the US, right? You had all those cars 100 years ago, different manufacturers. Studebaker's no longer here. They got rolled up. American Motors Company, they got rolled up. I'm showing my age now.
Right.
Right? So you've you've got the big three in the U.S., and now you've got international players that have come to our shore, and we've gone international. And so to be a global player, it's very typical that you start with many, 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 and over a period of time, if it truly is better for the masses, easier, more accessible, more people are using it, and above all, they trust it, which will be the key hallmark. That's the cornerstone. If people generally trust it, and it is all those things, then you'll see cryptocurrencies start to unify into a single or fewer cryptocurrencies that are transacted and traded around the globe that are used by many, used by large percentages of the population, but yet the cost of that cryptocurrency come down significantly. So in that way, it is truly better, more egalitarian for all. It won't be without its challenges, and it will take more than 5 years, and we are definitely on the forefront of that.
All right, so what do small businesses, and particularly like the traditional mainstream, Main Street small businesses, what do they need to know right now about this, and what do they need to start doing?
Great question. So I think first and foremost, it's just be aware that it's there. They do not need to run out today and get a point of sale system that is that manages or can handle a multi-ledger currency. It's not happening tomorrow. It's not going to happen realistically next year or the year after, because to do this, you would have to have people, the masses, be willing to move off the dollar or the peso, right, or the lira, and move on to a single cryptocurrency. So first, they need to be aware that this is happening. They need to be aware that it's out there. But over their business's lifespan in the coming 5 to 10 years, then they not only need to learn and be aware, but as they begin to use it more themselves, in fact, I would say it's directly proportional. They, as business owners, small business owners, directly proportional to the amount that they would transact in a Bitcoin or a Ripple or Ethereum or any one of the other coins that are out there, the more they transact in it, then the more likely other people are. It's directly proportional in a percentage of the number of customers they should expect coming through their door.
And how does NCR help small businesses start down this process?
Yeah, so we are on the edge of this, on the forefront of this. In small business, we run hundreds of millions of transactions globally on an annualized basis, and so we're aware of the cultures and the cryptocurrencies, and we are taking seats in some of these, becoming more active in some of the cryptocurrencies, and part of our want and interest is to become an enabler for the businesses as the demand grows.
Where can people learn more?
They can go to ncr.com. They can also go to marketcoin.com and take a look at all the cryptocurrencies. There's links to all of them out there. It's a popular website showing many of the cryptocurrencies out there, and then from there they can branch out and go to the individual websites.
Chris, thanks for your time. This has
You
been
got
great.
it, Brent. Thank you.